Hello, and welcome back to plantcare.club, where we care about your plants. My name is Fred.
My name is Maddie.
And on this show, we try to do three things. We talk about your plants, everything you've got. Today, new, rare, different plants that are coming out for this year. That's exciting. Number two, we do product reviews. We're going to do some of that today as well. New products coming to the market. And number three, we answer your questions. So if you have any questions, go to plantcare.club. Fill out the form there. You can add pictures to it. Send in your questions, and we will answer it either on the show or via email. So the goal of this show is to take some of the experience we have in the greenhouse, in the nursery, and explain how you can apply that to your own plants. So Maddie and I are brother and sister. We grew up on a greenhouse farm, and we grow some products that we ship across Canada and the United States. We also have a nursery in Florida where we grow tropical plants, some of the plants we're going to talk about today, and we ship them across Canada and the United States as well. So we take that information, we distill it down, and we explain that to you in a way that you can apply it in your own home.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is exciting because today is a little bit different. We're doing house plants for the next month or two, and this last week, there was a big plant show, a big plant event. It's called the Tropical Plant International Expo, and it's mainly made for B2B. So it is a lot of nurseries, growers, greenhouses that are generally from the eastern seaboard. You're going to have most of them from South Florida. This takes place in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
So most of them are going to be from that kind of South Florida area. They all grow houseplants, outdoor plants, palms, mandevilla, all that kind of stuff. And they make a big display. Garden centers, customers, some retail chains, everyone's going to be there. They walk through, they take a look at the new plants, they take a look at everything, and then sometimes they make orders based on it, but most of the time they're there to interact, socialize.
See people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of a networking event, but at the same time, it is to show off some of the items that you have. So while I was there, I went through and took some pictures of the new items that are coming out. There's a new item main area right in the middle of the show. So that was pretty cool. And we wanted to talk about those brand new items coming here today.
Yeah, and I haven't seen any of these. I didn't go. Usually we actually go, but this year I didn't go along. So I haven't seen any of these. So this will be new for me as well.
Yes. So the goal here is I'm kind of going to surprise Maddie and be like, hey, here's what's new.
Yeah.
What do you think of these? Okay, what do you want to start with? Do you want to start with plant material or new products? You pick.
We'll start with new products, and then we'll go from
new products. Okay, so like physical products.
Yeah.
So this isn't all of them, but these are some of the cooler ones. So here's the first one.
This one is cool.
So It's called the Mod Pole. Now, I saw this while I was there. Now, let me scroll down to see if I can find, if you are listening, I'm going to do my absolute best to explain what it does. Here's a little video to show. So the reason that it's called a pole is because you can take out chunks of like little squares.
Yep.
Let's think of it as a quart. You can take that out and then you can stack other ones on top of it instead. So you can switch the order. You can do only one. You can do a big pole. They all kind of click together like Lego. Okay. So I'm going to try to find the right diagram here. This shows you a little bit. So at the very bottom of your pole, if you click a bunch of them together, at the very bottom there's a big a catch basin. Like picture like if you're in Canada, it's like a milk carton.
Okay.
If you're in the US, you don't understand because they get their milk in boxes
Yeah.
rather than bags. We get bags.
Yeah.
So it's basically like a carton of milk that you would get in the US, that sort of thing, but with that top chopped off. And that will collect the water.
Okay.
So what you do is you start at the very top, you pour water into the first one.
Yep.
And it has this system where the water will drain down through the soil. It hits the bottom and it begins to fill up this other little runoff lip.
Yep.
And that lip fills up, it goes all the way up to a certain point, and then it tips over and it starts to cycle down to the next one.
Okay.
But what happens, apparently, I did not test this, but as far as I understand, what happens is once it hits that lip and it starts to tip down, it acts as a siphon rather than acting as just a level.
Yeah.
So if it acted as a level, the water would have to be at a pretty high point in order for the water to drain to the next one.
Yeah.
But if it acts as a siphon, it will suck the water out of the first one and send it to the next one.
Oh, because that was going to be my first question. How do you make sure you're not overwatering the top plants?
You would
make it to the
think
bottom?
you would think so. You would
Interesting.
think that, because what you could do instead is, I just want a little lip on the side of the pot, and then
Yeah.
the water would drain out of the bottom, would go over the lip, and then go to the next one.
Yeah.
But with this, it goes down, it goes to a siphon, and then it goes to the next spot.
That is so cool. So if you're in an apartment building or something like that where you want to grow a lot of plants, but you want them to grow up. So if you're listening, these are like boxes. They almost look like stacked on top of each other. The plants grow out from the side of them?
Yes. So the plants have to go off the side of this.
Okay.
So it would make sense for some plants, not all. It
Yeah.
would not make sense for, let's say, like a Ficus lyrata
No.
or like a mascane. You are not going to put it into this. But for philodendron varieties,
Yeah.
maybe pothos, they had some other items on
Like, could
here.
you get away with a ZZ maybe in that?
Maybe, but the other key here is that each type of plant is going to need, let's see if this, oh, here you go. Here's
Oh,
the
cool.
animation. So you can see how when the water goes in, there's the siphon action. Right here is that siphon. So the
Mhm.
water's falling into the actual spot. It's being pulled up an arm and then sucked out into the next cell.
To water the next plant.
It goes to the next plant, the next cell. It waters that one all the way up, and then it gets sucked out to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. And then the idea is at the very end, it goes right down to the bottom, and you've got a whole bunch of water in your catch basin, but all the soil all the way down the pole is wet.
That is so cool. No
Mhm.
wet feet of your plants. You
Mhm.
can stack your plants. You can grow multiple of them on top of one another.
Yep.
And you're not wasting any water at the same time.
That's the idea, yes. Now, there would obviously be some hesitations or caveats. Like you'd have to see how it all works. You want to make sure that it functions right.
Yeah.
The other thing is you have to pick varieties that take water at the same level.
True.
So you mentioned ZZs. Well, if you
Yeah.
put a ZZ in there, but then you've got some other varieties that take way more water, then it's not going to work out like that. Like you're not going to mix a Sansevieria and a fern. Like those are on two completely ends of the spectrum.
True. Okay.
Right.
That makes sense. So you almost want to stack like almost the same plant, like philodendron. However,
Yeah.
you can also adjust the stacking levels
Mm-hmm.
to make it work.
You
That
can
is really
switch that
cool.
up. And then the other thing too is that I thought of, if one of them has a root disease,
Mhm.
it'll spread really easily
Oh.
because you
true.
share the water.
Yeah. So you have to be very careful about that.
Now, once you get it into your actual, once you get into your home, it's less likely that that happens, but
It could.
that's a possibility.
Cool. Okay, so that's called the mod pole. If anyone's
The
interested in
Modpole.
looking it up,
Yeah, if you're looking at modpole.com.
pretty interesting.
We're not affiliated with any of these as well, so
No.
if you are listening to this,
Yeah.
that's not the case. Okay, so I'm going to try to put this here. Oh, and I'm not going, actually, sorry, I've just put the wrong thing in there. I'm not supposed to show you that.
Okay, I didn't really look.
Okay, so this is the next item here. This is simply a very simple, similar, but in a different way. It's patented. It's by, I'm not sure the company.
Drain drawer pods. Yeah,
Yes,
close.
drain drawer pots.
Okay.
If you're listening, very simple. It looks like a 10-inch pot, but on the bottom, it has a little drawer that you pull out.
A catch basin, basically at the bottom of it. Yeah.
so
cool.
your plant the soil sits to a certain level,
Mhm.
and then any extra water just rolls right down into the catch basin. You can pull that out. You drain out your extra water.
So cool. Great idea to make sure, again, the feet aren't wet. I love it.
Yeah, another way of keeping the feet from being wet.
Yeah.
Okay, this is another one here. Now, I've seen these guys before, and I don't know what is different about this, because it is in the new products category. It's called Soul Soils. Excuse me. I think that the difference here is this is nutrients for the plant.
Okay.
I think that's the idea. So, as far as I understand, Soul Soils, they create a mix of soil. They do it on their own instead of using some bigger company. They actually do it by themselves, and they have really well draining soil. Like they'll have really
Okay.
clumpy soil for a cactus, or they will have like the soil that is better for your home.
Yeah.
Sometimes what happens is the soil that is used by a nursery or a greenhouse is not the same soil that is best suited for your home.
Yeah. Okay.
In the greenhouse, at a nursery, they get so much more sun, more heat, most likely. They have the perfect conditions. They have better fertilizer.
Yeah.
So with all of those things, and so much more attention. So because they've got all those different pieces going on, you can use a more dense soil that'll hold on to nutrients, because you know that, the next day it's going to be hot and this plant's going to soak up all those nutrients.
Anyways, yeah, exactly.
But once it gets into your home, it's more like, instead of making the plant grow really fast, you want it to stay looking nice for longer.
Okay.
And this is where some of these soil mixes can come in.
So they're not just nutrients for the soil, they're actual soil mixes.
They do a soil mix, and I think that this new product that they have here is a soil nutrients.
I see it says like amino acids on it, so it must be, plant food.
Exactly, yeah. So they have a bunch of different types of this new plant food. So if you're really interested, it's called SOL Soils.
Interesting.
And you can check them out.
It's like taking a vitamin. Like, it's like a all-in-one nutrients kind of thing for a plant. That's pretty cool.
That's a good way of saying it, actually.
I like it.
Okay, now I have 3 pictures of the exact same thing. So
okay, cool.
This is Plant Doc. So this is the outside of the box. So it says, stop killing your houseplants.
Cool.
The biodegradable moisture meter. Okay. So I walked by the one morning. I thought, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just more of their boxes. But, the key with this is they have different boxes for different types of plants. So there's a mushroom. There's a regular, monstera, and this one's a cactus.
Okay.
So the point there is they have different meters for different types of plants. What is a meter, you might ask? Here's a meter.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So this is, picture like a toothpick type material.
Yep.
No, sorry, a popsicle stick type material.
Okay.
Popsicle stick. Picture that. But it is obviously a little bit different from it. And you plunk that into your 4-inch or 6-inch or 10-inch pot, whatever it is, and you match it up. So, okay, this you're looking at more of a succulent type, so you're going to put in the cactus.
Yep.
Which is probably going to be more sensitive to water. As you water your plant, that cactus will soak up the water kind of like a sponge. And once it gets wet all the way up to the top, it says, okay, you're full, no more water.
Okay.
And then when you come back 2 or 3 days later, you see how wet that cactus is.
Cool.
If it's halfway wet, then okay, I need to, maybe I can add some more water. If you can't see any wetness on the plant, then okay, leave it alone. You're going to want to water it right away.
A little bit more. So is it reusable, or is it like, because it's biodegradable, you use it once with that plant and then you probably can't use it again?
I imagine that it is going to rot in the actual plant.
That's what I was thinking.
Right? It's going to rot, but the plant's going to use that as nutrients is the idea.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool.
This is a cool way of setting up your plant for success, and
probably relatively cheaper than buying like a water tester to like see how watered the soil is. So
I would think so. And we talk about this pretty often, especially when someone says, should I keep my plant? Can I keep it over the winter? That kind of a thing. And we always say, is it gonna look nice?
Yeah.
Like, you've got to have that in mind. Is it gonna look nice?
Yeah.
I don't think this looks ugly.
No, I don't think this looks ugly.
I don't think that's bad. And if you had that in your house with your other houseplants there, like, it's small enough that it doesn't take over, and you can tuck it away to the side.
It's also personalized for that kind of plant. So there are those meters there's like a device basically that will test how much water is in the soil, but you'd have to know exactly how much you need based on that level. This is like a really good beginner, like, there you go. There's your cactus. Like, see how much water you need to be giving it without having to go too far into the science behind it.
Absolutely.
Which is
exactly.
Pretty cool. Oh, that's really nice.
That's
I like
what I'm
that
thinking
one.
too.
Easy use, plastic-free, biodegradable. Cool. So what's the name of this again? Plant Doc. If
Plant
anyone's listening.
Doc. Yeah, if you're going to, see mini monstera, mushroom, cactus. They come in 5 packs. It's little boxes there.
Cool.
Pretty cool. And once again, we're not affiliated with any of these guys. We just thought that they looked great.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Okay, so I kind of buried the lead on this one. So now we are past the products, and we are into the new plants. So
Okay.
if you're excited, I'm actually going to make us smaller because we don't matter as
No,
much as
not
the
this
plants
time.
matter in this way. So let me throw this over here. Let me put this right here. Beautiful. Okay, great. So this is from Proven Winners, which is a plant breeding company.
Mm-hmm.
It is a Labicia. Labicia, I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing
Yeah,
that right.
Labisia. Yeah,
Labicia viper, Kura Kura. So it's a brand new type of plant that they're saying. Now, when I Googled it, I did see that there are some people that are saying that they have it on Reddit.
Okay.
That have it already, which is great. It's nice that it's out there. So it has this awesome texture. When you look at the side of the plant here, it's got this really cool texture, almost like a snake skin. Like when you touch it, it feels sort of like a snake skin type feel.
Mm-hmm.
And if you scroll down here, you can see, now they are a little bit, I know that this type of plant can be pretty
finicky,
needy. Yeah, exactly. It has the shape of an orchid. Really, like if you look at the bottom of it, it looks like an orchid where it could shoot out a bloom. I haven't really seen one bloom, but that is possible, I guess.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so this was one of the items that was in the list.
What would you say is like closest related to this kind of plant? Because, like, okay, so they've breeded this plant, but had they, like, what do you, I'm not asking you to know where they breeded them with, but is there any plants that are similar to this one?
Well, this is a variety of its own. Like a philodendron, like you're going to have Labicia.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
You're going to have that variety of plant that exists out there.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I would say it's probably most similar to a philodendron family, but it's hard to
like plant parents is philodendron, and then it like
way down the list. But it's going to be on its own, and with any new genetics and new varieties, it's going to be finicky. It's going to be hard to take care of at the beginning, but that's why people want to get these type of plants because they're hard.
Cool. Okay. Amazing.
Okay. Next up. Now, I don't remember all the names here, so I'm going to have to zoom in on this picture.
I love how colorful this one is.
Philodendron Red Congo variegated. Okay. So this is a type of regular, it looks like a Philodendron Imperial Green or Imperial Red. Mm-hmm. Those are more common varieties, but this one is variegated from top to bottom, and one of the coolest parts is the different colors in the variegation.
Yeah,
like you can see the bottoms are more dark green, and at the very top they come out as like a yellow or a bright red or pink.
Yeah, and as they're changing, they're variegating to a green. That's really cool.
Yes, yeah, they're changing as they're going. Very cool, different type of plant here.
That is really cool. Okay, so that's a Philodendron Red Congo variegated. That one's pretty neat.
Do you want me to look it up or no?
No, that's okay. That's okay. I think we got a good idea with this one.
I think we got a good idea.
Yeah, I love that one. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna pick this one next because once again I have to zoom in. I forget the name. Okay, this is a Monstera. Oh boy, Monstera.
Pinaparti.
Titia.
Pinapartitia. Yeah.
So a variety of Monstera. As I said, as we're talking about, brand new for this year. It looks like, as soon as I saw it, I thought, oh, this looks like a Monstera and a Hope Salome cross.
Yeah.
Because usually Monstera, they grow out the back and then they go like, they're trying to go higher and higher.
Yeah.
Hope Salome are trying to go wider.
Mm-hmm.
Like we actually talked about that in one of the shows on picking the right plant for a different space.
That's right, yeah.
Right? And with this one, it looks like it has the Monstera type leaf. However, it's growing wide instead of high. Now that could just be the way the grower has worked it. Like maybe the grower's been using growth regulator on it to keep it more compact.
Okay.
That's a possibility. But if this is its natural habit, that's a pretty cool difference.
And the leaves of this Monstera are very unique. Because usually Monstera as a cheese plant just has a few holes or a few gaps in it. But these are like individual leaves off that main branch.
Yeah, they look more like a mini monstera. Like a mini
Mhm.
monstera leaf has that kind of
Yeah,
the difference in the slices through the leaf, actually.
exactly. But this one's much bigger. Yeah, cool. I really like that one.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
pretty
great.
neat.
Which one's next? I'm trying to save my favorite ones for the end.
These are
Okay, I'll pick this one. This one here. So this is a Prismacolor Orange You Gorgeous. Okay, so I thought that this was I'm so sorry if you are listening. Okay, there it is. I'm so sorry if you're watching on YouTube because I just shoved my nose into the camera as I'm trying to read this, because it says Prismacolor and I'm thinking like, wait a minute, no, this is a philodendron. No, this is a philodendron. Orange You Gorgeous is the name of it.
Okay.
Same thing as before though. You see these lower leaves are dark green, and the new leaves up here, they are like a bright orange. The stem is red.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So those orange leaves aren't going to stay orange. They're going to slowly turn green while they variegate, basically.
Usually they go to that direction, yeah.
Cool. Okay, that's really
But
neat.
the key here is the variegation all the way through the leaf. It's continuous, right?
It is. And also the leaf is like, looks like a rubbery texture. If you're listening, it's shiny. It's a very shiny leaf, which I wouldn't say philodendron tends to be.
Now I was thinking, while I was sitting in the show, while I'm walking through the show and then I'm at our booth waiting,
Yeah.
I was thinking, I want to do a show
Mhm.
on how do greenhouses or nurseries trick the customer. What do we do to trick the customer into buying the plants? And you just fell for one of the tricks, because that's just leaf shine.
Oh, they just shine the leaves off. Okay.
It's literally like an oil, like a spray that they use.
Oh.
You spray it on the leaf, you wipe it on and wipe it off. Like every morning that you go in, and the first thing that people are doing 30 minutes before the show starts is they're spraying all their plants because they want to make them super shiny and bright.
Well, I think that's a great idea, because then they can apply that too if they go to a garden center. Like, what are they going to try and get you to buy? And then you can actually tell if that plant's healthy or not before you purchase it.
It's not like it hurts the plant. Like it's
No.
totally fine. All that it does is maybe it's like an instinctual thing where you look at it and you go, wow, like this leaf looks so much nicer.
It is. It's shinier. Yeah. So I bet you the colors come out more vibrant too when they're shiny like this, because they're not dusty. I know that my plants in my room are pretty dusty, but that's pretty cool. I tried to clean them, but
my plants are dusty.
They're dusty. Oh, that's really cool. I like that. I love the way it variegates too.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Next, this isn't super, super crazy new, but this is just a natural, common new one. So this is a Diplademia blueforia.
Okay.
So usually in the Diplademia or the Mandevilla family, you've got red, white, pink.
Yep.
Last year, maybe 2 years ago, they had a peach.
Okay.
This year there's a new yellow that came out. I'm hearing mixed things on the yellow so far as like its growth habit and how nice it's going to be. So it's going to be TBD going into the spring if that yellow and it's a yellow that climbs.
Oh, okay.
Because in the past we've had yellows in a bush type that have filled the bush, which is fine, but this is a yellow that's supposed to climb and,
okay.
Nice flower. Anyway, This is a blue bush type. So it's a Mandevilla and it's blue. In the picture, it doesn't do it justice.
I was going to say it does not look blue.
This looks way more purple, but when you see it in person, the color comes out better.
Okay.
Maybe if I had a better camera, that would help too. But
it has like blue undertones to it somewhere. You can kind of see it on some of the leaves how there could be.
Yeah, and they're not facing you, which is actually something that I hear breeders talk about. I'm going off on a tangent here, but they will pick plants that, when they're breeding all these different varieties, maybe they're saying, okay, we want to do a new type of Mandevilla, and they're going to do like 100 different varieties, and then they get stock of all of them, and then they root them all and they see how they grow. And then after, like, in one spring, they will say 50% of them they throw, or like 70% they say, no, we don't want these. And then they got 30 more, and then the next year they do it again, and you see how they go. You throw some out, and then eventually you've got your varieties at the very end. But one of the key considerations that they use for plants is, where does that flower face? Because you can have a really beautiful flower, but if it's facing down, the consumer doesn't see it.
That's true. That's very true. And when you have like a hanging basket, for example, if it's hanging, you have to have it super high if the
Yeah.
flower is hanging down, which is not as realistic as having something facing you.
Some of the best Mandevilla varieties have that flower that faces you, that faces straight out.
Yeah.
Right?
And it looks prettier.
As far as the plant goes, it's not like it's a benefit to the plant to have a flower that's facing straight out.
Yeah.
Right? Like a bee would find the inside of the flower regardless if it's out or down or up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But for the end customer, the customer wants it to be facing out.
Yeah, it's prettier for
so
sure.
I guess I'm complaining about this a little bit because you can see some of the flowers are facing down a little bit, but it is the first purple that's on the market so far. So
purple blue, yeah.
Purple blue.
Cool. I like that one.
Okay, so I'll go with the one that won the new plant award this year. So this is called Big Ben.
Okay, cool.
This is called a Philodendron Big Ben. Okay, so I'm going to let me pull it up here 1 second.
It's very interesting. So if you're listening, it looks like a philodendron, but it looks like a very full and kind of medium-sized philodendron with like a variegating leaves. But I'm interested in hearing what's so different about this one. And this one, so they have awards every year at TPIE for these.
Yes, so cool. You can place a plant into the actual show, and then okay, there it is. It's a Dieffenbachia Big Ben.
Okay.
Okay, I knew that I was told this before, but I completely forgot. Yeah, so Dieffenbachia Big Ben. There's not going to be any more information on this online because it's brand new, as brand new as it really gets. But so yeah, it's got the stalks of the Dieffenbachia as we're used to. There's 3 of them that are coming out of this, I think, 14-inch pot. And if you're listening, it's variegated between a yellow and a green. So that's where you can see this bit of a difference in the leaf here.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Very cool, different variegation all the way through it.
And they're big leaves.
The hard part too is, like, a lot of the other plants that we've shown have been 4-inch or 6-inch. Yeah. And the reason that they're smaller is because sometimes as a plant gets bigger, it'll lose its variegation.
Yeah.
Over time as it gets larger. But with this one, I think part of what they're doing is showing that, like, no, this is a 14-inch plant and it is variegated the whole way.
And it's a big plant.
From top to bottom.
Big Ben. No, it is really cool.
All the way down to the bottom, even the stem, everything is variegated, which is a very cool.
That is pretty huge because usually as they get older, it loses its variegation.
So maybe that's a hot. I know the guy that bred this, and so I'm thinking that this is newer and this really isn't out there very much. So if you are a plant collector, this might be your ticket for the next year. Like, you want to go out there, try to find Philodendron Big Ben or Dieffenbachia Big Ben. Oh man, I said it wrong.
Yes. Okay, last one.
Okay, last one that I've got. So it is a variegated Ficus lyrata.
Cool.
Ficus lyrata variegated. So this is new, as we were talking about, new for this year. Once again, it's in a little 4-inch pot.
Okay, this is 4-inch because it's so deceiving. Kind of looked like it was 6-inch.
This one was actually in glass, which I'm assuming is like some people will try to touch it, which I can really see. If you are listening, the variegation is mainly around the outside of the leaf. So the center of the leaf is all green, the outside is all variegated. Hopefully this has a decent growing habit. You can't exactly tell. One problem that I had was this little bit of, this is kind of the symbol of root rot, or it's a classic thing that every ficus goes into over time, is having that bit of the brown on the end of the leaves. Can be nutrient deficiency, can be a problem depending on who you are. It's just a problem for different people. Maybe it's not enough humidity, maybe it's something.
Yeah. But the leaves are cool. It does. I do question, like, if it was in a glass box, if someone touching it or someone picking it up or moving it, like if this plant is actually super fragile.
It could be. Yeah. It could be that the actual stem and the stalk is relatively fragile.
Yeah. Really cool variegation on that, though. I've never seen a variegated ficus before, so that's really cool. Interesting.
Yes.
So that could be one of your 2025 finds right there.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's all we've got for those items. If you're interested in finding them, where would you find them first? Probably smaller garden centers, or like garden centers in general, with the first place. I would say it's unlikely that they're going to be at a large grocery chain
Yeah.
right off the bat. Maybe
Yeah.
in year 2 or 3. Be prepared that they're going to be more expensive. Definitely is going to be a more expensive item. The life for a lot of the plants that you just saw is probably now, and I'm guessing at this because I don't know what every breeder wants to do.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing that the lifespan is they turn around, they go straight back to the lab.
Yeah.
They get split up there so that they can then, put them into some kind of a production and get some stock so they can be ready to go for, let's say, the summer or the fall.
Oh, okay. I was even thinking 2026, but they'd be ready for summer or fall potentially.
I could see some stock coming out. Yeah, if that whole process went a bit more quickly, and I'm talking about like a 4-inch or maybe a 6-inch, but it's probably going to start with that 4-inch and at a pretty high dollar value to really get it started and get it going, and then then go from there.
Cool, amazing. Okay,
awesome. If you have any comments or questions, go to plantcare.club and shoot us a message there, or leave it in the comment section on whatever platform you're listening to us. That would be great as well. And outside of that, that's it.
Yeah, that's everything. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.